So you're telling me that I don't have to pay for tuition until I graduate and find a really good paying job? That sounds way too good to be true because it is. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Catherine and I want to be here to help you get your first job out of coding bootcamp. Today, I want to do a really quick video on how much it costs to attend a full-time 12-week coding bootcamp in 2021. The coding bootcamp industry has become extremely popular over the last few years, and given how many people now are interested in attending a coding bootcamp and how expensive they are, bootcamps are now starting to offer lots of different financing options such as income sharing agreements, deferred tuition, partnering with other external lenders. But are they actually good for you or are they scams? I'll go over some of the basics in this video. According to Course Report, the average bootcamp in the United States costs $13,584, with the majority between $10 to $15 and several even up to $18,000. The ones that cost from $15,000 to $18,000 are typically located in big tech hubs, and they're really renowned for their high job placement rates and high quality of alumni. Hack Reactor, for example, they've graduated a lot of alumni that went on to work for FAANG companies such as Google, Amazon, Facebook. So you might be thinking, wow, that is a lot of money for something that I can essentially learn on my own. If you want an in-depth video on going to a coding bootcamp versus learning coding on your own, be sure to check out my video comparing the two. That being said, if you were thinking of going to college, a bootcamp is a fraction of the price of a 4-year degree, and salaries are pretty high right out of the gate. Every time I watch a Dave Ramsey video and he's talking to someone who is $100,000 in student loan debt and they're making like $30,000 at some job that has nothing to do with their degree, a part of me kind of dies.
I've sat down and calculated my interest rates, and my interest is about $5,800 a month.
You're also going to have to budget for living expenses for at least 3 months, probably more around 6, because it's going to take you several months to find a job. I was looking at Hack Reactor's student outcomes report for 2020, and after 3 months or 180 days, only about 65% of their graduates were able to land a job in their field. And this is a top-notch coding bootcamp, so it's gonna take you some time. If you're thinking, yikes, I don't have $15,000 in cash sitting in the bank, or you want to earmark that for a rainy day, how the hell are you gonna pay for it? Well, don't worry, you're not the only one, and there are options. According to Career Karma, about a quarter of students finance their education, their coding bootcamp education, through a private loan, which means they put it on a credit card. Yikes. They open up a student line of credit, they partner with an external lender. First, a lot of coding bootcamps offer at least partial scholarships for veterans and people from marginalized groups, so definitely check with your admissions advisor. The only issue with that is they tend to be just partial scholarships, so you're still on the hook for the majority of it. Also, check with your advisor to see if there are government assistance grants and loans available, because those tend to have the lowest interest rates. If you live in Canada, you can actually use your student loans to pay for most coding bootcamps in British Columbia and Alberta, and it's the best loan option, again, because of the really low interest rates. At the time of this recording, you cannot use federal student loans to pay for coding bootcamps in the United States, unfortunately, because they don't qualify. Some schools also partner with private lenders, and these private lenders work exclusively with coding bootcamps, and they know that the students that graduate tend to make decent incomes right away, so the interest rates tend to be a little bit lower. The benefit is you don't need an excellent credit score to be approved for these loans, especially if you have a cosigner with a good credit score. And the good thing is that you tend to get approved fairly quickly, unlike the process for student loans. One option that's gained a lot of traction recently is income sharing agreements, or what's known as ISAs. They're a form of deferred tuition where you pay a portion of your salary only if and when you land a job that pays a certain minimum salary. Lambda School actually explains it really well, and they're really well known for this. The Lambda School Income Sharing Agreement is a form of deferred tuition under which you agree to pay 17% of your post-Lambda School salary for 24 months, but only once you're making more than $50,000 a year. The ISA is capped at $30,000, so you'll never pay more than that for any reason. And if you don't get hired, you never pay. So you're telling me that I don't have to pay for tuition until I graduate and find a really good paying job? That sounds way too good to be true, because it is. So the catch with income sharing agreements is that if you decide to go this route, chances are you will be paying more overall than you would have if you just paid for the tuition up front. If you went to Lambda school, for example, you could easily be paying $30,000 for what is essentially a $15,000 boot camp. If you take the average salary of a software junior developer in the United States, it's about $66,000, and if you multiply by 2 and take 17% of that, that's about $22,440. At the end of the day, this is really another income stream for coding boot camps. What they're doing essentially is lending you tuition and expecting that to be paid back over 2 years at a really high interest rate. The benefit of an ISA is, of course, you don't have to pay for tuition up front, and the school is much more incentivized to provide you with a good education because they won't receive their tuition unless you come out of the school making $50,000 a year. So I looked at other income sharing agreements offered by boot camps, and I see that a lot of them cap out at around 1.5 times the upfront tuition price, which means you could potentially be paying 50% more than the initial upfront tuition price. That could equate to $5,000 to $7,000, and you'll be graduating with the burden of having to pay back student loans. The legalities of income sharing agreements can be pretty complex, so I'm not going to go into all the detail here, but let me know in the comments below if you want me to make another video on this topic. If you choose to go this route, make sure to read the fine print and get your questions answered, like what if you don't find a job in your field, or are you going to have to take the first offer? If you're still not sure whether or not a coding bootcamp is worth it, be sure to check out my video comparing coding bootcamps to self-taught learning. Alright guys, that's about all I have for you today. So if you have any other questions, leave me a comment down below, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!